And I talk to them about what does it mean to be a police officer. And I tell them, honestly, when I was working the street, I always thought the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment, it's like, rules I have to follow. It makes it more difficult for me to do my enforcement job. And I tell my recruits, don't be stupid like I was. This is your mission. This Constitution is your mission. You're protecting our Constitution. Now, a lot of people think because we have a lot of veterans that are becoming cops, that that's a bad thing. And I really want to ask you to open your mind to that. I'd say 20 to 30% of our recruit classes are made up of veterans. And so I look at my veterans and I say, how many of you lost friends who died to protect our Constitution? And I get the look, I can tell. And then I ask the rest of the class, is anybody in here going to violate this Constitution and dishonor that sacrifice? And you can hear a pin drop every single time. So we're really trying to focus the recruits on respect the Constitution, not just because you don't want to get in trouble with DOJ, but it's a matter of your personal honor, that you commit to me today, I'm not going to violate the Constitution. And we really, really focus on that. We put a huge value on when we do our mock scenes, where there's a scenario set up and we test the officer's skills. It used to be every scenario ended with an arrest, a use of force, something like that. Now we've changed up the scenarios where if the officer does a good job of verbally de-escalating, properly positioning themselves, it doesn't end up with an arrest or a use of force. And they get better credit if they can de-escalate. So I mean, those are a couple of examples, very concrete examples. We have introduced 8 hours of crisis intervention training, which is very much focused on dealing with people in a mental health crisis. But those techniques and skills translate to virtually any human interaction. Jackie Helfgott and Seattle University are in the process of doing an ongoing study of the impact of some of that training. And some of the early results showed that when officers have that crisis intervention training, it actually increases their level of empathy. So there's a lot of things like that we're doing. Those are some concrete examples.
I have another quick question, but we talked about how like different groups get deeper into groups when there's fear and lack of understanding, and so do you see a way for the police to be better integrated in our neighborhoods besides policing? Because I live in South Seattle, so a little bit about me. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I'm terribly afraid of police. I'm a 23-year-old Black woman, and so I'm driving down the street and I've been followed 4 blocks and have come near panic attacks because I don't know what's gonna happen to me between 2 blocks away from my destination and where I am, and that's because all I see in South Seattle are police officers either chasing down someone or posted on the corner waiting to catch somebody. And so what do you think is, or what is being done, or what do you think could be done to integrate the police better into our communities where they're supposed to serve?
So on the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing, I was part of that task force. We developed a 100-page document with recommendations of what police departments can do to build trust in their communities. And one of the recommendations is to initiate contact between community members and law enforcement that have nothing to do with enforcement. So that would be, officers working in community centers, PAL programs, things like that. I'm working on a project right now with Tucson Police Department, and we're talking about developing programs where it creates contact where it's not a power differential, but where it's 2 human beings coming together. I would invite you anytime to come out to the academy. I love to have people, private citizens, come out and just sit in a recruit class and listen to what the recruits have to say. Tell your story to the recruits. I would love for you to come and sit with my recruits and say, when I'm driving down the streets of my neighborhood, I have a near panic attack because I'm so fearful. I want my recruits to hear that face-to-face, human-to-human, because I can talk to them about it, but I'm a 60-year-old white woman from Bellevue. What the hell do I know? But if somebody who's living in that place, if you come in as a human being and say, this is how I feel, I really believe that will have an impact. It'll take time, obviously, but it might make you feel better too. And if you meet these recruits, I'm telling you, you would just be blown away by the stories, the backgrounds of a lot of these recruits coming into police work.
So I know there's a lot of people, I'm trying to get to everybody, trust me, I'm trying to get to everybody. But you've had your hand up for a very long time.